What's up, guys?
Happy January 15th. Payday for many of you. What will you do with that money? Will you pay off your bills? Or
Nope.
will you
Pay that Comcast bill.
pay that Comcast bill? So, we're Brooke and Rick,
I'm Rick. Sorry, I'm driving.
and we're the good, the bad,
And the savvy.
and we are here today to talk about three things.
3 things that you should be doing to get your life in order right now. Okay? You need to start doing those things right now if you're not already doing them. Number 1.
Number one is take a good hard look at what you're doing and where you're at in life.
Be brutally honest. Don't sugarcoat it. And understand the decisions that you have made that have gotten you to where you are today.
There's
Okay.
nobody to blame
No one to blame.
but yourself.
Don't blame your parents, lack of work, you. You need to understand those patterns before you can change them. We cannot make changes in our life if we don't understand the bad decisions that we've made and how we can change them. So first you need to understand them and accept them as your responsibility and yours alone.
So, one of the first things that you need to do is you need to sit down and think about where you are and why you're there. What are your habits? What have you been doing? Do you come home from work and crack open a beer right away? Do you sit down and watch TV? Do you say constantly that you have no time, but yet you don't take care of the time that you have? You don't take care of things that need to be done, and then you feel overwhelmed when they all pile up on you. What are your habits?
Funny thing on that, I was watching the news the other day and they talked about some study that says that husbands are escaping real life, wife and kids, by going into the bathroom and spending an average of 7 hours a year in the bathroom, on Facebook, YouTube, doing whatever that they do.
7 hours a year? That's not very much. I think the number's
That's actually
higher.
yeah. Well, this was the study that was done, which is funny because I I got to doing the math, and 7 hours breaks down to like, I don't know, something crazy like 10 seconds a day in the bathroom, which I think it's a little on the ridiculous side. But then I did some other numbers, and I think a little bit more realistic numbers. Sorry. And I averaged 10 minutes a day in the bathroom for a whole year, and that equals to about 60 hours a year. If you sorry, I have no water. If you average 10 minutes a day in the bathroom and you do that for a whole year, you're talking about 60 hours. And
You're talking about over a whole work week.
if you value your time like I do, you're going to put a number to that, and you'd be surprised how much you could get done in those 60 hours. I'm not saying don't use the bathroom. Obviously, it's an important thing. But you can look at your time, where you're spending it, and you'll very quickly realize that there is time. You're just not making time for it. You don't put it high enough on your priority list to get things done.
So anyway, really what we're just talking about is what kind of habits you have. We'll get more into time. We kind of push that. We'll get more into time later. But you really need to focus on what you're doing that's gotten you where you are right now. And that means financially, that means in your career, that means physically, that means
Whatever aspect of life that it is that you're trying to change. Like I said in the beginning, like we said in the beginning, this can apply to anything. Losing weight, cleaning your house, cleaning your diet, changing jobs, doing better at your job, the job that you currently have, family, everything, anything.
And also I want to say, like, when you're thinking about this stuff, like let's say you're driving and listening to this, you need to go back to it and actually sit down and put a pen to paper. You really need to break it down. And like Rick said, you need to be brutally honest.
Yes, take action.
Yeah. So there is actually scientific proof that when you put a pencil to paper, things absorb more. You're able to write and think without editing. And really, we don't want you to edit. You want to write everything down that gets in the way. And then we have to figure out how to deal with them. So the next number 2 is, what is your idea of success? What is your idea of wealth? What is your current idea of what it is that you're seeking? Because, go ahead, Rick.
Very important point. Not to diminish the importance of having an end goal, okay? But I think many of us, including myself, in the past have fallen into the umbrella idea of, oh, I want to be like The Rock, or I want to be like X celebrity or writer or whatever, and we set that bar really high up, which again is a very important and crucial point. But you also need to set realistic standards or goals right now. So what does that mean?
That is not to say that you don't have the potential or the ability to succeed in that way, or be, like The Rock, or whoever it is that, that's just an example, or whatever motivational speaker it is that you're interested in and that you watch all the time. Like, you can do any of those things, but we're trying to get you to
be real, get real right now. What do you have to deal with right now?
Like, okay. Are you $3,000 in debt? Are you when I was $10,000 in debt? Are you just wanting, maybe you're not in debt at all. Maybe you just want to have $20,000 to put down on a home. Like, where are you at right now? Not where's your neighbor at, not where's your buddy at, not where's your boss at, driving a BMW that they can't afford. Like, where are you at?
Yes. Okay. When I was 20, when I was 18, 19 years old in the military, I did what most military people do. Go out, get credit cards. No one will deny you because you have a steady check coming in. And I went out and I maxed them out just as fast as I got approved for them. At that time, if I was $3,000 in debt, mind you, this is in the military where you make $800 a month. So $3,000 in debt, $4,000 in debt, that's the end of the world. Okay. My idea of success then was to get out of that debt. So if we say create your idea of success. And what we mean by that is, if you're $4,000, $5,000, $20,000 in student debt, your idea of succeeding should look something like, I'm gonna pay off that student loan. That's 20 grand. And to somebody else that's making $1 million a year, that may be a laughable goal. Really, 20,000? I spend that on a weekend dinner with the family, and that's fine because that's where they are in life. But that's not where you are in life. So what you need to do is create that idea of success. What does success look like to me in the next 3 months, in the next 6 months, 9 months? If that means that wiping off $20,000 in student debt is your idea of success, then guess what? When you pay it off, you're gonna be on top of the world. Okay? You're gonna be on top of your world. Okay? Nobody else's. And what matters most is that you're on top of your world, because it's gonna do something to your confidence that no one else can do for you. It's gonna build it up. And when you come up with the next goal, you're gonna find yourself having an easier and easier time crushing that goal. So create your idea of success. And I don't care how small it is. It could be, you know what, I want to save $5,000 in the next 6 months to move out of my parents' house. Then that is your top of the world. That is success.
Yeah, and your meter for success grows. It grows as you grow. So that's why we're saying, like, we're not saying like, oh, really, you want to be this big motivational speaker? Like, yeah, right. What we're saying is, conquer each of these small goals, and everything will just fall into place for you.
They'll get bigger every time.
Bigger and bigger. So, let's see. And then number three. Our concept of time is your enemy. And you need to really think about this, because it is a construct that people use as an excuse to keep themselves from succeeding.
It's a crutch.
So, for instance, it's quitting time. It's beer time. It's movie time. Now, we're not saying don't enjoy your life and don't, like, have some times, that you just shut down and shut off. But what we are saying is, when people say that they don't have time, you have time.
There's 24 hours in a day. Okay? If you get 8 hours of sleep a day, that leaves you with what, 16 hours?
Mm-hmm.
You have 16 waking hours to get stuff done. Okay? If you work a regular 9 to 5, like many of us do that are trying to get our life together, you take that away, you're left with
Another 8 hours.
8 hours?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I'm driving, so my head is a little all over the place. But that leaves you with 8 hours. What are you doing with those 8 hours?
And we understand that you have a commute and everything, but what could you be doing on your commute? Looking at Facebook, or could you be planning or checking maybe you're cleaning out your house and you're selling stuff on eBay and you're on there checking to see what your auctions are like, and like whatever it is that you're doing as your side hustle. Like, those are times that you can be working on that, or you could be meditating. You could be I know people are like, oh my God, you can't be on the train meditating, but yes, you can. You could be going to the gym. There are so many things that you could be doing. There's plenty of time.
So the point of this point is 8 hours of work a day is not enough. Okay? If you don't have a silver spoon in your hand, 8 hours of work is not enough. Okay? If you're trying to build something from nothing, if you're trying to get out from under, 8 hours of work is not enough.
If you're trying to buy your own house and rehab it because you bought it, a home that you could actually afford, you're going to be working to
12,
work on that
14,
house.
16 hours.
But then what will you have in the end?
You need to go to bed and be exhausted. Okay? There's no, I'm going to sit down and binge watch the season of whatever hot show you're watching now. You need to get home tired from work, from making somebody else rich, and now you got to work on your riches.
Message from 3,882.
All right, we got a text message from someone. But anyway, those are the three things. Hopefully we kept the video kind of short. 3 things you need to be doing, 3 things that we think are very important to get your life in order and be on your way to success.
Write them down.
As soon as you get home, if you're not home, write this stuff down and take action. Don't wait for tomorrow. Don't drink a beer and forget about it. Write it down. If you're at home, stop what you're doing. Write it down. If you're changing a diaper, finish changing the diaper and then write it down. With a pen, not with what's in the diaper.
And get yourself a notebook. Get yourself a journal. Get yourself something to write in. Putting pen to paper is a very good exercise, and it's something that really makes things more realistic, and it really helps you to flow. So get yourself flowing. Get your thoughts flowing. Don't let things stop you from don't be worried. This is only for you. Don't edit, just write. And then let's see where you're at.
We've reached our destination. Hopefully you guys find this helpful. If you got any questions, please post them in the comments. We will get back to you. Appreciate any input. Like the video if you found it helpful. Subscribe, and we're going to keep those coming.
Again, this is Rick.
This is Brooke.
And we are the good, the bad, and the savvy.